Mojtaba Khamenei sent a strong message to President Masoud Pezeshkian after the killing of Iran's intelligence minister. Mojtaba's remarks amounted to a fiery warning after Israel killed a top aide of the Iranian system, hinting at a revenge plan? These were major remarks from the new Supreme Leader right after his first widely circulated video appearance amid health concerns. Just before that first video gained attention, Iran's forces launched the 66th wave of Operation True Promise 4 with 5 multi-warhead missiles. From Qadr to Khaybar Shikan, Iran says it deployed a mix of advanced missile systems in the 66th wave, alongside other weapons. Iran's new Supreme Leader Mojtaba Khamenei said on March 20th that the country would strip its enemies of security, issuing another defiant warning as the war with Israel and the United States continued to intensify. Mojtaba also offered his condolences over the killing of Intelligence Minister Esmail Khatib, describing the assassination as further proof of enemy hostility toward the Islamic Republic. Those remarks were made in a message addressed directly to Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian, giving the statement both political and symbolic weight at a moment of mounting internal and external pressure. President Pezeshkian had confirmed on March 18th that Khatib was killed in an overnight Israeli strike, framing the attack as a major blow against Iran's security leadership. Mojtaba Khamenei said, and I quote, "In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful Honorable President, Mr. Pezeshkian, may God protect him and increase his honor. With greetings and due respects, I hereby offer my congratulations and condolences to you, the esteemed members of the Cabinet, the colleagues of that Honorable Minister in the Ministry of Intelligence, and especially to the noble family of the deceased on the martyrdom of the hard-working Minister of Intelligence and long-standing anonymous veteran, Hajjat al-Islam Sayyid Esmail Khatib. May God be pleased with him. There is no doubt that the void left by him must be compensated through the redoubled efforts of the other officials and personnel of that sensitive ministry, so that security may be denied to both domestic and foreign enemies and bestowed upon all our fellow citizens. I ask Almighty God for your continued well-being, for the well-being of your colleagues, and for the elevation of rank of that dear martyr." Unquote. Earlier, Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz had claimed that Khatib was eliminated in the strike, presenting the operation as part of Israel's campaign against Iran's senior command structure. Katz also said the IDF had been given sweeping authority to act against top Iranian officials, signaling that Israel may continue trying to decapitate Iran's political and intelligence leadership. Meanwhile, Iran has released an undated video of the country's new Supreme Leader Mojtaba Khamenei, apparently seeking to counter rumors and project stability during the war. The footage was released amid renewed concerns over Mojtaba's health after the Israeli-US strikes on Iran and the wave of speculation that followed those attacks. Iranian state media IRIB released the video showing Mojtaba teaching religious science, portraying him in a calm clerical setting rather than a wartime command environment. Mojtaba had been feared injured after the joint US-Israeli strikes that killed his father Ali Khamenei, prompting widespread questions about his physical condition and immediate whereabouts. Earlier reports had claimed that Mojtaba fled Iran and was undergoing medical treatment in Russia, fueling a fresh round of uncertainty over the new leadership. However, Iran's ambassador to Russia, Kazem Jalali, denied those reports and dismissed them as part of a psychological war aimed at creating confusion. Meanwhile, Benjamin Netanyahu said it was still too early to speak about regime change in Iran, signaling caution even as the war continued to widen.
Just the beginning. The death cult in Iran is trying to blackmail the world by closing a key international maritime route, the Straits of Hormuz. It won't work. Israel is helping in its own way, and intel and other means, the American effort to open the Straits of Hormuz, rather. But I want to ask you to imagine how the Ayatollah regime would be able to blackmail the entire world if they had ballistic missiles with nuclear warheads. Just imagine what they would do. Look at what they're doing now and imagine what they would do if they had ballistic missiles, international range ballistic missiles, and nuclear-tipped warheads. Just imagine what a great threat that would be. So today, Israel and the United States are protecting America, Israel, the entire Middle East, but I venture to say the entire world. Despite the fake news that is unfortunately being spread, since the start of the war 20 days ago. We are winning, and Iran is being decimated. Iran's missile and drone arsenal is being massively degraded and will be destroyed. Hundreds of their launchers have been destroyed. Their stockpiles of missiles are being hit hard, and so are the industries that produce them. That's important. In Rising Line, we destroyed missiles, and we destroyed a lot of the nuclear infrastructure. But what we're destroying now are the factories that produce the components to make these missiles and to make the nuclear weapons that they're trying to produce. We're wiping out their industrial base in a way that we didn't do before. Iran's air defenses have been rendered useless. Their navy is lying at the bottom of the sea. Today we hit the other part of their navy in the Caspian Sea. Their air force is nearly destroyed. Iran's command and control structure is in utter chaos. And I can tell you that there's still more work to do, and we're going to do it. And I want to close these opening remarks with one other fake news, and that is that Israel somehow dragged the U.S. into a conflict with Iran. Does anyone really think that someone can tell President Trump what to do? Come on. President Trump always makes his decisions on what he thinks is good for America, and may I add, I think what is also good for future generations. The world owes a debt of deep indebtedness to President Trump for leading this effort to safeguard our future. You want a transitional leader that will have a transition. You don't want to replace one Ayatollah with another. You don't want to replace Hitler with Himmler. So I think the question is, will the conditions be created for such a change? I think it's too early to say. And I think in the final account, as I said, it's up to the Iranian people to show that, to choose the moment and to rise to the moment. We can create the conditions, but they have to, they have to exploit those conditions at a certain point. It is often said that you can't do revolutions from the air. That is true. You can't do it only from the air. You can do a lot of things from the air, and we're doing, but there has to be a ground component as well. There are many possibilities for this ground component, and I take the liberty of not sharing with you all those possibilities. I think that those are goals that are achievable, but I'm not going to put a schedule or a stopwatch on it. I think we have goals that have to be achieved, and we're not counting the days. But I will say this canard that we dragged the United States into it is not just a canard, it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I mean, I think President Trump said it best, and I said it as well many times. There's always a danger in acting. But in conditions of existential threats, there's a much greater danger in not acting. Oh, but they don't have it yet. That's what people said. Right, let's wait. Well, just let them do it, just wait and let them do it. You won't be able to do it. It's the last moment. No, it takes a little time. I mean, you had a few months to prevent them from doing it and to just decimate these industries and perhaps achieve this transitional government in Iran. So you'd sit back and you say, well, it's not going to happen in the next Thursday, so let's not act. I tell you that there's enormous risk in not acting, much greater risk than acting. And if you think that the oil markets are in trouble today, think of Iran with nuclear weapons and the means to deliver them. Then think of the blackmail that you would. Then once we achieve our goals, then I have argued, I think, and Americans understand this very well because we're real partners. I think that what has to be done is to have alternative routes. Instead of going through the choke points of the Hormuz Straits and the Bab el-Mandeb Straits, in order to have the flow of oil, just have oil pipelines, gas pipelines, going west through the Arabian Peninsula, right up to Israel, right up to our Mediterranean ports, and you've just done away with the choke points for forever. That is definitely possible. So I see that as a real change that will follow this war. But I also see this war ending a lot faster than people think. I think you have to, in war, you have to grit your teeth. Number one, Israel acted alone against the Slawiya gas compound. Fact number two, President Trump asked us to hold off on future attacks, and we're holding out. What do we see? What happens if are there any signs that the Iranian regime is cracking? A lot of signs. A lot of signs. I wish I could divulge all of them, but I see that. But will I tell you, will I commit right now that it's going to collapse? I can tell you that we're working to create the conditions for it to collapse. But it may survive, it may not. If it survives, it'll be a lot weaker. There's no comparison. It'll be at its weakest point, shorn of industries that it built over decades, death industries, shorn of many other capabilities that they have, and equipped with the experience, with the knowledge that if they try it again, they'll be hit again even harder. I'm not sure who's running Iran right now. Mojtaba, the replacement Ayatollah, has not shown his face. Have you seen him? We haven't. And we can't vouch exactly what is happening there. There is a cloud here that's not clear. What we see is that there's a lot of tensions inside the people who are edging for the top. It's not a uniform position. You see that sometimes with the contradictory orders that are given. You know, they do one thing and then they withdraw it and so on. I think it's important that they know that if they think they're going to target the world, target the President of the United States and so on, they themselves are being targeted. That creates a lot of uncertainty. We've found that can have an effect. The removal of Nasrallah has never been really been replaced, because some people are not replaceable. I think the authority and the hold that Khamenei has had is not going to be translated to anyone, not to Mojtaba if he's there, and not to anyone else. But I think this is part of the effort to crack the regime. It's not going to happen in one day. We're 20 days into this war. Yes, we're seeing cracks. We're seeing cracks, and we're trying to propagate them as fast as we can. He's the leader. I'm, his ally. America is the leader. Israel is, as the National Security Memorandum described us, I think a month ago, 6 weeks ago, I think, something like that. They called Israel the model ally. That's how they call it, the model ally. It's not a superpower, but America is seeking around the world, and you hear it from the speeches of President Trump and others in the administration. They say, where are you? We've helped you all these years. Where are you when we're doing something that is as important, at least as important for you as it is important for us? And yet one country is there, and against all the vilifications that are leveled at Israel, Israel is sponging off America and all that.
Amid all this, Iran launched the 66th wave of Operation True Promise 4, with the IRGC saying it deployed 5 Super Heavy and multi-warhead missiles in the latest phase of the campaign. Among those weapons were Qadr missiles, which are long-range ballistic missiles that Iranian reporting said were used alongside other missile systems in the barrage.